Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading. This is a ridiculous questions answered reading. And so we are going to answer ridiculous questions in this reading. But the first row is going to represent the fastest way for you to get rich right now. And you have this voice card. It says your voice could be very lucrative for you. It says singer, radio host, voice actor, or any job in communications. And you also have this unlocking card. It says what was locked can now be opened. At the bottom of this voice card also says the only thing holding you back is your inability to speak your truth. I'm pretty sure truth has come up for you quite a bit, Virgo, where it's not saying that you're lying, of course. It's just saying that, maybe there are certain things that you're afraid to say, or maybe there are certain things that you don't want, you don't want people to know, right? And so, but speaking those things into existence, and you can't make this up. This card says sing your own song. So speaking those things up, or putting those things out into the world could be very, very powerful for you and could definitely increase your wealth or your abundance with this reading. Now you have the Three of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the High Priestess. The Three of Cups can represent the people you work with, or like the other people that you work with. It can also represent teamwork as well. So I feel that teamwork could be very important for you. I almost get the feeling that if you do work with people that, I feel like this card is almost like saying you need to like level up the people that you're working with or something. I feel that there could be a lot more abundance if you work with people who kind of are a little bit above your level, or like you could be trying to maybe surround yourself with people who are a little bit above your level or something like that. And that's definitely popping into my head with the Three of Wands energy. It's like saying, there are things that you could do that would raise you up, but it has to do with like the people that you are surrounding yourself with. I also feel that you are thinking about a new direction for your career with the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. And so if you're thinking about leveling up your career or doing something different, the thing is that you have this card that says a fiery climax approaches at the end. And so I feel for a lot of you, it's almost like there's like a spark, or, there's an inspiration, or you're having an inspiration about a change that you could make in the way that you make money. This doesn't mean you have to like quit your job or anything like that. I don't get that feeling. Sometimes I do, because on the Ace of Wands, this castle back here is crumbling, and it really represents out with the old, in with the new. It could represent doing something completely new or completely different. But I feel like you are still like doing the same thing that you have been doing, but you could just be upgrading it, or again, you could be surrounding yourself with people who lift you up in the career or the business, or whatever it is that you have right now. I think that you could be surrounding yourself with people who do lift you up, and that's more what this is talking about. I'm getting the word like enhancement. It's like there are certain enhancements that you could make to your current business or career, and I feel it will have like a major impact on your wealth. So I would definitely be looking for some sort of enhancement. You have the High Priestess. I feel like you're getting intuitive messages about the changes you need to make. So again, I would be trusting your intuition. I also feel like you're doing something that you've done before. I just said this to Scorpio as well, which is pretty interesting. But I get this feeling that, like, let's say you've already written a book. You could be writing a book again. Or let's say you've already built your website for your business. It's like you could be doing it again. And that's the intuitive feeling I get here. I think that what you're doing, there's something about potential. The High Priestess really represents a limited potential. She has no roof over her head, and so it represents a limited potential. But there's something about that word that's important for you here, Virgo. I think that what it's saying is that whatever you're about to put out into the world, it's almost as if you are like injecting it with potential. It's almost like, let me put it this way. If you're like building a website, it's like maybe you are building it for like as if your business had, millions of customers, but you don't. It's almost like you are building it for the potential of what you want. So pretty powerful message that I'm getting off of that High Priestess. But this could be anything. It's like maybe you're writing your book as if millions of people will read it, but there's something about, again, you injecting that energy into it. So powerful. With the Three of Cups, you have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is about kind of moving forward fearlessly. It's also about being a builder. He is the true builder in the tarot. So I think that for a lot of you, that you are kind of like building things, or you're thinking about building something, and it could involve the help of other people. Obviously, if you don't know how to build a website, for example, it could be a website, right? With the Ace of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune. I think that this will change your fortunes, literally injecting something with potential. Again, whatever you're doing, I would do it as if you already have a million followers, or whatever it is you do, act as if you already have like 100 times more or a million times more what you have right now. And I think that's how you will change your fortunes with the Wheel of Fortune. I also kind of do feel that, even though we're this reading is meant to look for like more advice, more what to do, I do think your fortunes are just changing. With the High Priestess, you have the Hermit, you showing up here. So whenever you show up as yourself, this puts you in a position of power and strength. I feel it's saying trust your intuition. I almost feel that you are also kind of like making some sort of offering. It's almost like I see you in my head saying to God or the universe or whatever you believe in. It's like you're saying, if you give me this chance, I promise that I'll do this. So make sure if you're making any promises to the universe or God or whatever you believe in, make sure that you actually follow through with what you say, because you're making a promise here, and that's really what I would focus on. Pretty powerful first row. Next, we're going to look at what the animals want to tell you here, Virgo. You have this camel spirit and this mouse spirit. The camel is all about being a survivor and kind of being persistent and following something through to the end. So I feel that you've been working on something for a long time. It's like you've been in the desert, but now you have an opportunity to find water. The mouse kind of represents paying attention to the small things and paying attention to the small details. You're good at that, Virgo, so it's a very detail-oriented time, and I think paying attention to the small details would be a good idea. You have the canary spirit, says sing your own song, the whale spirit, and the armadillo. Again, the beginning of the reading, we had that card that basically said voice on it, using your voice. What does it say? Could be very lucrative for you. So something having to do with your voice could be very important with this canary spirit. It's almost like I feel like I'm afraid of getting canceled, It's almost like you could be afraid to say something because of like what people will think. And I feel like this is saying, don't worry about that, number one. Number two, it's like better to have like 100 people who really, really believe in you than it is to have like a million who don't, right? And I feel like that's what this card is saying. It would be better for you to have less people in your life who truly, truly believe in what you have to share and say than it would be to like please a million people who really don't. And I think that's what the canary spirit is trying to get you to understand. You have this whale spirit, says trust in the great mystery. We do have a lot of mystery here. High Priestess, you have the moon showing up here as well. So the whale is about diving deep and exploring the depths of something. I also kind of feel like your animal guides, your animal totems here are kind of saying that it would be a really good time for you to explore everything that something has to offer. And I do feel that this is connected to your work. So if there's like a certain business that you have or a certain work that you do, I kind of like feel exploring other ways of presenting it or other things. Like maybe you have a career and maybe there's other ways to do things. Exploring those other ways to do things is going to just not only bring in depth into what you do, but it could help you discover something that you really enjoy. I even feel for some of you that if you have a career or something that you do right now, there's like something else that you could be doing. And if you did that thing, it would actually be like 10 times more enjoyable. So I think that you need to explore what you work on with that energy. You have this armadillo spirit, says set healthy boundaries. I've said this before in your readings and I'll say it again. I think that there is a lot going on for Virgo's boundaries, or there is a lot that has to do with your boundaries in work, in your love life, in all areas of your life. And I think it would be an amazing time for you to like make sure that you're setting healthy boundaries, with the people that you work with the jobs that you have, the things that you do, all that other stuff. I think it would be really important. I think you've had a lot of lessons involving boundaries with other people, and where maybe either people crossed your boundaries or people didn't respect your boundaries, or maybe you even got in trouble with boundaries. And I think there've been a lot of lessons there. But when we learn those lessons, then it's time to like put those lessons into practice, which I think you're doing. With the canary spirit, you have this King of Pentacles. Yeah, a lot of abundance and success. The King of Pentacles, though, he is in a comfort zone, and he is kind of like the card of convention. He represents doing things the same way and doing things the way that you've always done them. So I think like embracing new ways of doing things like work, business, your love life, pretty much everything is going to lead to a lot of success. But I really feel this all ties back to your own truth with that voice card, like speaking your truth, living your truth. It's like you're breaking free from your old story with the non-focusing King of Pentacles here, and you're more doing things that are your truth. With the Whale Spirit, you have the Two Wands. Yes, again, doing things in a different way. Two Wands, he's standing at the top of a comfort zone. He is standing at the top of his castle where he has always been, and he has the whole world in his hands. I think for you to get out into the world, it's just simply about exploration. It's like saying, this part of your reading, I feel like your animal message is that you've been doing things the same way for too long, and now it's just time to mix things up. It's just time to, add another dimension. Or I think I use the word enhancement with the High Priestess. It's almost like there is an enhancement. There's like something, if this is a business, there's like something you could add or do in your business that would just enhance it, that would make it 10 times better, right? And I think that you discovering that, some of you are, I feel like you're already looking at it because you have the Three of Wands, the Two of Wands here. The Two of Wands kind of says that you already see an opportunity. You already see something that could, enhance your business. And I think it's just about doing it. With the Armadillo Spirit says set healthy boundaries. Again, I think there's a lot of gold that you've learned from the lessons in your life having to do with boundaries or setting healthy boundaries. Ace of Pentacles is a big opportunity. And so I feel like there are a lot of opportunities coming in for you. And these opportunities could be tied to your boundaries. And here's what I mean by this. It's like maybe there were certain boundaries crossed in love, and it's like you're getting a new love opportunity in your life. And I feel like these cards are saying this is a really good opportunity. Don't let it be ruined by boundaries being crossed, right? Like make sure you're healing your boundaries or setting boundaries. Next, we're going to look at what unusual skill should you learn right now. You have this flexibility card and this power card. So both. I think we are in a time of flexibility. We have a lot of energy in Gemini right now. These readings are meant to be timeless, but at the time of me doing this recording, we have all this energy in Gemini. And I think Gemini teaches us to be flexible, to find better ways of doing things, or, to just look at other ways that things could work. So being flexible. I also feel like embracing your power, because your center card here is you. It is the Hermit. And the Hermit is your card. Whenever you show up as yourself, this puts you in a position of power and strength. So I think that some of you it's like you're about to be given power, or maybe you're getting a leadership opportunity, or maybe you're developing a following on social media or something like that. And I feel this is saying the skill that you should learn is like how to use your power. He's actually not using his power. He has the star in his lantern here. The story of the Hermit is that he's been through a dark night of the soul. He's climbed to the top of this mountain. But really, the whole point of the Hermit is that he has to come down from the mountain. There are ice-capped mountains right here below his feet, and he needs to kind of like set himself free. He needs to unfreeze his feet. The story is that he could put that lantern down by his feet, he could set himself free, and then he could go share his inner voice. You have that voice card right there. And he has a star in his lantern, so that star is kind of like you blasting your star all over the place, using your power. So I think like the correct use of your power is what this is saying. It's like we all have power in some area of our life, but we can use it for good or we can use it for bad. You have the Four of Swords here. The other skill that I think you're learning is taking a break, right? That is a skill. Sometimes we don't have boundaries with ourselves. Sometimes we just work and work and work until we're exhausted, and that's never a good thing. There's never a good outcome when we do that. So I think that this is about learning how to kind of take a break. I also feel like this is about learning how to accept blessings into your life. There's a person up here that's blessing another person, but it's like how many times have you gone out to dinner and someone wants to pay for it and you're like, oh, no, right? I think this is about learning to accept when people want to give you something. It doesn't have to be dinner. It could be anything, right? But I think this is saying that a good skill for you to learn would be acceptance, like accepting things into your life, good things. And again, sometimes if deep down inside, if we feel like we don't deserve something, then we don't accept it and we're pushing away blessings. I feel like this is saying, this is a skill that needs to be developed. Something like, learning to accept is that skill. Next, you have the Knight of Swords, taking your time. I'm getting this like in love for you here, Virgo. Sorry, I just hit puberty, so my voice is cracking. But what I would say here with the Knight of Swords is that, not rushing right into something and kind of like giving something time. I even think that, intuitively, the Knight of Swords is saying to me, like, if you are nervous, if a person doesn't like text you back during the day immediately, maybe you sit in those moments where you're like, oh my God, what is this person doing? Or, are they ever going to text me back, or are they going to communicate with me, or whatever? I think like learning to do something else when you're like, oh my God, this person isn't talking to me, go for a run, go for a walk, go do one of your hobbies so you can get out of your head. I think like, I feel like the Knight of Swords is talking about correcting that behavior inside of yourself where you get like anxious or nervous that you're not getting, feedback or an answer. And sorry, I have to reshuffle this because these were mixed up, but, kind of like learning to, get your brain moving in a different direction is what the Knight of Swords is talking about. With the Four of Swords, you have the Justice card. Justice, of course, is cause and effect, and flexibility as well. So I think this is kind of talking about flexibility. I also feel like it's talking about your investments, like where you invest your time, effort, energy, or even your money, and making sure that you're making wise investments. With the Hermit, you have two cards. You have the King of Cups and the Temperance card. Patience. So again, learning patience. And also the King of Cups has very deep emotions. We also have the Whale here, and the Whale spirit kind of is about your deep emotions. So exploring the reasons why maybe you feel a certain way, like if someone doesn't text you back right away, or if they don't text you all day until the nighttime or whatever, it's like, why do you feel a certain way about that? Maybe there's a good reason. Maybe it is because they're screwing around, but you need to explore that on your own. I feel like it's something where you need to look into why you feel that way. Is it intuitive, or are you just being a paranoid freak, right? Like, I've been there. Trust me, I'm not criticizing you. So it's like saying, am I just being paranoid here, or is there a reason for this? And being able to tell the difference. But I don't think we can tell the difference when we're in that state. So we have to do something to get out of that state so that we can actually look for the correct answer. And so I feel like this is all talking about, a skill that you could develop is like your emotional balance or something like that. And this doesn't have to be love. I'm just using that as an example. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Fool. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith in a new direction. So I feel like for some of you, that this is, again, talking about being patient. Instead of jumping right into something, can you take your time and like not rush something? And I feel that's what it's encouraging you to do. Next, we're going to look at what breakthrough are you very close to, but also far away from. Sometimes I think we have breakthroughs that are right in front of our face and we just don't see it, right? So you have this card that says you and your loved ones are safe. You also have this card that says a fiery climax approaches. So I feel for a lot of you that you need to realize that you're safe. Maybe you need that mental correction that we were talking about with the Knight of Swords and the King of Cups and the Temperance card here. It's like maybe your brain is telling you one thing, but really something else is going on. And I think that could be very helpful with this energy. You have the Two of Swords. I think there's a breakthrough right behind you here with the Two of Swords. She is thinking this or that, but she has this new island behind her. And I always say the Two of Swords, it's this or that thinking, but she really needs to realize that there's like a third place solution to whatever it is that she wants to do. I believe personally that third place solutions are going to save the world. Everybody thinks this side, that side, but really there's probably a better way to do everything, and we just haven't figured it out yet. So I think that there are probably better ways to do the things that you're trying to accomplish. We can discover third place solutions simply by educating ourselves. There's 2 billion videos uploaded every second on YouTube, so there's probably a video about something that you're doing in your life that you could easily learn from for free. And it might provide a different perspective, but she has a blindfold on. So I think you need to open up to those other perspectives of other ways of doing things. You have the Moon card. The Moon is about kind of mysteries or not seeing things very clearly. And the Moon kind of says you need to keep pushing towards these mountains. I kind of do feel the Moon is saying you're actually much closer to accomplishing something than you realize, but you need to not give up. The whole point of the Moon is that there are these 2 pillars here. And these 2 pillars are a warning to the Fool. And they basically are there to tell the Fool to not get off his path. He needs to keep going on the path that he's on right now, and he needs to not get off that path. And so I do feel that here with the Moon card, that you need to keep, stick to your path. You also have the Hangman. I kind of feel like the Hangman is saying you're ready. The Hangman has sacrificed movement. He has sacrificed the use of his arms and his legs. But he needs to get off that tree. He's hanging from the tree of knowledge and wisdom. he's gained enlightenment, his head is glowing, and he just needs to get started on his journey. So I kind of feel really the breakthrough for you is that you already have an idea of something that you want to do in your life right now, and you just need to go and do it, right? There's nothing more, maybe there is nothing more for you to learn. Maybe there is nothing more that can help you get there. So let's see. With the Two of Swords, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Yes, Nine of Pentacles is about total abundance. It's also the card of gratitude and luxuries. So I think there are some really nice things coming in for you. With the Moon card, you have the Hangman again. Yes, I knew. Yes, both those cards are Pisces, but I had a feeling that those two cards were pretty much connected. It's like you can't see exactly where you need to go, but you actually do know where to go. And I know that's confusing, but this row is meant to be confusing. It's meant to be what breakthrough are you closest to, but yet you don't see it. You know, you're close but far. And I feel this is saying like you're actually much, much closer to accomplishing something than you realize, but you just have to kind of like take this, get started. I think taking that first step is the answer here. And with the Hangman, you have the Ace of Cups. This could be about inviting love into your life as well. So if you want love, I feel like there is clearly love here. I think the trick for you is to take it slower. I do feel you could be, I don't really see a person here necessarily, but I do feel you could be attracting a person where they just are slow. I think it's just a slow person that's coming in for you, and you really need to like take your time with this person. They might be slow to respond. They might be, they might be slow to want to meet up or whatever. They might be slow in jumping into the bed, right? Or something like that. But this is like, I actually feel like this is a really good thing, not a bad thing. And I think they just like to, kind of let things develop. And, again, if this is a connection, it's almost, and especially right here, this whole bottom row, set healthy boundaries, the Knight of Swords, all this stuff. I feel like it's saying, this person is going to teach you like development, how something develops over time. And that's what I feel here. But really good reading. I like this. So thank you for being here. Let me know what you think of this type of reading. And if you have any ridiculous questions you want answered, I'll do this again. So put those questions down below. But this looks really good. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.